the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Well, good morning, DMV. Happy Halloween weekend. Boys, it's shaping out to be a beautiful start to your day today, but we are tracking some showers in that 7-day forecast, so definitely keep it here. We'll talk more about that in just a bit.
This morning on DC News Now, a sigh of relief in the Northeast. The man accused in the Maine mass shootings is dead. What police are telling us as the massive manhunt comes to a close and lockdowns lift this morning. Plus, behind closed doors, a missing man in Montgomery County locked behind these large metal doors at Glenmont Metro Station for nearly a week. What his family is saying about his rescue and safe return this morning, plus their questions still unanswered right now. And later, keeping her peers off the streets and on track. We're introducing you to this week's DMV Doer. Very good morning to everybody. The sun rising there over the United States Capitol. Thanks so much for joining us for DC News Now this morning, 7:59. I'm Randy Bass in for Tosin Fakile. We'll get into our top stories in just a few minutes, but taking a first look at your forecast, Brittany Ward. Brittany, you got a lot of good news for us on the forecast front.
Absolutely. It's a great start to our Halloween weekend out there. We are waking up to a mixture of sun and clouds across portions of the DMV. Satellite and radar showing you the overall picture. We are just seeing a few breaks of clouds across the area, and that will be the trend as we head through your day today. And stepping out the door at this hour, those temperatures, they are on the mild side. We're talking about 62 currently in the nation's capital, lower 60s as you head over there to Hagerstown. Still holding on to the 50s as you head along the Blue Ridge, but overall highs today rebounding fairly nicely. We're going to be seeing them back in the lower 80s. So planning your breakfast here in the nation's capital, very quiet forecast. As we head into that 9 o'clock hour, we start to see more peaks of sunshine across much of the DMV. 71 is expected to be the outside temperature by 10, and then we're holding on to the mid 70s as we head into that 11 o'clock hour. So looking ahead the next 3 days, today will definitely be the pick of the weekend. We're talking about those warm temperatures. We do have a chance of some late day showers, but the bulk of the shower activity does not arrive until Sunday and Monday. And then as we head into the rest of the 7-day, we start to see sunshine return to the area, but we are tracking cooler temperatures. So definitely keep it there. We'll break it down for you guys in just a bit.
All right, Brittany, thank you. This morning, the man police believe to be the suspect in the Lewiston, Maine mass shootings, 40-year-old Robert Card, is dead. Reporter Sheena Lasciuto in Lewiston, where shelter in place is finally lifted this morning.
All across New England, but especially here in Lewiston, Maine, people will be waking up and feeling that difference. The fear is no longer in the community, but the pain and the grief are filling the hearts of all those impacted. A manhunt comes to an end. Suspected mass murderer, 40-year-old Robert Card, is found dead Friday night, just about 48 hours after the massacre in Lewiston, Maine.
Like many people, I'm breathing a sigh of relief tonight, knowing that Robert Card is no longer a threat to anyone.
Card is accused of fatally shooting 18 people and injuring 13 more. The youngest victim killed, only 14 years old. Local, state, and federal authorities have been investigating the two shooting scenes, a bowling alley and a local bar. Authorities are not yet saying how exactly they found the suspect's body, only saying it was located near a river about 20 minutes from the shootings.
The city of Lewiston and the state of Maine begin to move forward on what will be a long and difficult road to healing, but we will heal.
And while parts of this city will never feel whole again, there are certainly signs proving that some things can never be broken.
I think the right direction that we need to be healing in is one of strength and one of community and one of unity.
And we really expect the landscapes to change at the two scenes of the mass shootings really in the coming hours. For the first time since the mass shooting, stores will be open, meaning people can go and buy flowers. Reporting in Lewiston, Maine, I'm Sheena Lasciuto.
And law enforcement now identifying all 18 people killed in those shootings. 16 men and 2 women range in age from 14 to 76. The youngest, Aaron Young, killed alongside his father at the bowling alley where he played in a youth league. Also killed were Robert and Lucille Violette. At ages 76 and 73 years old, Robert was a volunteer coach for that youth bowling league that was practicing Wednesday night. A local city councilor says Joe Walker was a manager at the bar and grill where the second shooting happened. He died going after the shooter with a butcher knife. And President Biden releasing a statement yesterday night applauding the officers involved in that search. In it, he says numerous brave law enforcement officers have worked around the clock to find this suspect and prevent the loss of more innocent life, all while risking their own. They are the best of us. It goes on to say, Americans should not have to live like this. I once again call on Republicans in Congress to fulfill their obligation to keep the American people safe, end quote. You can also head to DCNewsNow.com for the very latest coverage of the Lewiston shootings. And right now, a judge says he needs more time to make a decision on a former Newport News, Virginia teacher's lawsuit against the school board. Abby Zwerner suing for $40 million after being shot by her student earlier this year. Abby Zwerner, with her arm in a sling, was supported by her family this week as she walked into court. She made no comments to reporters. Zwerner's attorneys argued that while her injury happened in a workplace, it's not necessarily a workplace injury. The school board argued that her injury happened as a hazard of her job, so she should be entitled to workplace compensation and not her $40 million lawsuit. But Zwerner's legal team argued her injury being the result of a gun changes things.
The gun does make a difference. I mean, I think the reason you all are here is because it's a gun. If there was a paper clip that was thrown at a teacher at Newport News or Rich Neck Elementary, I wouldn't have 5 cameras in my face right now.
The former first grade teacher was shot in her classroom on January 6th of this year. She filed the lawsuit in April. The judge says he'll offer a written opinion in about a week. And in the district, D.C. police are identifying the 16-year-old girl killed in a crash involving 2 stolen cars. Police say Kendra Outlaw from Northeast D.C. was driving a carjacked Honda Pilot Thursday morning when she crashed in Brentwood. The car hit another stolen car, a Camry, before stopping. Police say 3 people were inside the Camry. 2 of them took off. A 15-year-old girl who was a passenger in that second car was arrested. The Organized Crime and Narcotics Division of the Fairfax County Police Department reports they've seized 17,000 fentanyl pills. They posted on X, formerly known as Twitter, that multiple suspects face charges related to narcotics and distributing weapons of terrorism. We'll bring you more on that development as we get them. And this morning, the family of missing man Rashawn Williams is telling DC News Now he was found safe after spending nearly a week inside a dark room at the Glenmont Metro station. Williams is nonverbal and has Down syndrome. Williams was in that room behind this metal door without food or water for almost a week. Metro sources tell us that door is unlocked from the outside, but locks from the inside when shut. It sits a few feet away from regularly traveled Metro corridors. His family members tell us he got on a Metro bus after wandering out of a hotel last Friday. He rode that bus to Fort Totten Metro and got on a train to Glenmont. Police didn't release the footage of Rashawn getting off that train here at 1 a.m. Saturday until almost 5 days later. Family members tell us that's when new detectives took over the case and found him within 2 days of finding this footage.
I'm just glad he's home. I'm just glad he's home. The past 6 days have been, there's no words to explain it.
I haven't been there.
There's no words to explain it. What path to take to get the answers that I need, because we don't want this to happen to anyone else, because the way that this went down, unless there's change, it can happen again.
Yeah, lots of unanswered questions remaining after we reached out to Montgomery County Police. They told us they didn't have anybody who could speak with us about the case yesterday. Metro responded to our request for additional information, but did not indicate whether that room sees any regular employee traffic. And in Hagerstown, Maryland, a funeral for Judge Andrew Wilkinson at St. Anne's Catholic Church saw dozens of people coming out to pay their respects to the now late judge. The circumstances of his killing had much of Western Maryland on edge this week. Wilkinson granted full custody of Pedro Argote's children to his wife last Thursday. Hours later, Wilkinson was shot dead in his driveway. Argote was found dead earlier this week. Judge Wilkinson was regarded for his integrity on the bench. He was active in numerous community causes, such as the YMCA and Rotary Service Club.
He was a good judge, one of few
and we need as many good judges as we can. It's a big loss for the community.
We were all shocked over it. You know, it's a very nice community, kind of close-knit, and, you know, a lot of people know a lot of people there, and we were all stunned by it.
Yes, he is survived by his 2 children and his wife, Stephanie. She tells DC News Now she's touched by the outpouring support from the community. DC News Now is your local election headquarters. New data out of Virginia showing thousands of Virginians may have been removed from voter rolls when they shouldn't have been. Earlier this month, the Department of Elections told our sister station in Richmond that about 275 people had been wrongfully removed. The department now admitting that the number of people impacted is closer to 10 times that original figure. The department says nearly 3,400 eligible voters were taken off the rolls after Virginia State Police mistakenly classified certain people with probation violations as having a new felony conviction. That would disqualify them from voting. Governor Glenn Youngkin's elections office tells our sister station most of the eligible voters impacted have had their registrations reinstated. And the Department of Elections says they've worked with state police to ensure this doesn't happen again. And if you are planning to vote early, polling places across Virginia will now be open for the weekend. Virginia state law requires localities to open early voting locations on the 2 Saturdays prior to Election Day. That means today and next Saturday, you can cast your early ballot from 8 a.m. until 5 p.m. in most places.
A same-day registration is in essence a voter registration application on a provisional envelope. They'll cast a provisional ballot that will be inserted into that envelope and sealed and brought back to us to be considered by our electoral board.
If you are voting early, all you need to do is show up at your local registrar's office or satellite voting location with proper ID, like a passport, voter registration card, or driver's license. Festivities for the 48th Annual Marine Corps Marathon kick off today in Arlington. The big race, of course, is tomorrow, but there are several events happening today. And with an expected 30,000 runners hitting the streets tomorrow, there are a ton of road closures you need to know if you're in Arlington or D.C. This is a look at the entire marathon route to help people get to and from the race. Metro service is starting early. It'll be quite an undertaking. Again, at least 30,000 runners expected tomorrow. Many more than that are expected to line the streets to watch. And WMATA announcing red line closures coming up in December as they make critical safety repairs on red line tracks. There will be no red line service between DuPont Circle and Gallery Place scheduled between December 18th and December 30th. Orange, blue, and silver lines will be running at Metro Center. However, both entrances on G Street Northwest will be closed. And from December 22nd through the 24th, the Judiciary Square station will also be closed.